Welcome to our channel, where history comes alive. Today, we're uncovering the secrets of the past with 20 ancient statues you won't believe exist. Get ready to be amazed by these timeless treasures that have stood the test of time. "20 ancient statues you won't believe exist." Number 1. The Lady of Auxerre. The Lady of Auxerre is a limestone statuette that stands at 75 centimeters high and dates back to around 630 BC. Originally from Crete, it is considered one of the most accomplished sculptures of the Daedalic style, which predates Greek archaic art. The statue was discovered in 1907 in a storage vault at the Museum of Auxerre in France, and its origins are shrouded in mystery. It is believed to depict an archaic Greek goddess, possibly a votary, and is noted for its narrow waist, reminiscent of Minoan Mycenaean goddesses, and its stiff hair, suggesting Egyptian influence. Today, the Lady of Auxerre can be admired at the Louvre Museum in Paris. Number 2. The Sacred Gate Choros. The Sacred Gate Choros is a remarkable marble statue of a young man, sculpted around 600 BCE. It is well known for its idealized features and portrayal as a powerful and athletic figure. This statue was discovered in the ancient Keramikos cemetery at a site known as the Sacred Gate in 2002. It stands 2.10 meters tall and is attributed to the Dipylon sculptor, a name given to an anonymous artist who also created similar works found near the same gate. The Sacred Gate Choros is now proudly displayed in the Acropolis Museum in Athens, where it continues to captivate visitors with its beauty and historical significance. Number 3. The Victorious Youth. The Victorious Youth is a Greek bronze sculpture, also known as the Getty Bronze or Atleta di Fano. It was created between 300 and 100 BC and is currently housed in the J. Paul Getty Museum in Pacific Palisades, California. The statue is notable for its depiction of a young, athletic male, likely an Olympic victor, given the olive wreath that he wears, which is a symbol of victory in the Olympic Games. The sculpture stands at approximately 1.515 meters tall, although the lower legs and feet are missing. It was discovered in the summer of 1964 in the Sea off Fano on the Adriatic coast of Italy, caught in the nets of an Italian fishing trawler. The Victorious Youth has undergone restoration to remove marine growth such as barnacles, which had accumulated during the time it spent underwater. The statue's physical appearance has changed over time. Originally, it would have had a golden metallic yellow color, but now it exhibits a mottled greenish brownish reddish orangish hue due to the oxidation of the bronze. The Victorious Youth is a rare example of an ancient Greek bronze that has survived to the present day, providing invaluable insight into Hellenistic art and athletics. Number 4. Artemisian Bronze. The Artemisian Bronze is an ancient Greek sculpture that was recovered from the sea off Cape Artemision, in northern Euboea, Greece. The statue is slightly over life-size at 2.09 meters and is made of bronze. It is believed to have been created around 450 BC. The identity of the figure represented by the Artemisian Bronze has been a subject of debate among scholars. Most believe it depicts Zeus, the thunder god and king of gods, because the statue's pose is consistent with the act of throwing a thunderbolt. However, some have suggested it might represent Poseidon, as it was found in the sea and could have been holding a trident. The statue's right hand is outstretched, likely to have held either a thunderbolt or a trident, which has led to the uncertainty regarding whether it represents Zeus or Poseidon. The empty eye sockets were originally inset, probably with bone, and the eyebrows, with silver, the lips, and the nipples, with copper, to give a more lifelike appearance. The Artemisian Bronze is a highlight of the collections in the National Archaeological Museum of Athens and is celebrated for its dynamic composition and exquisite craftsmanship, which exemplify the transition from the archaic to the early classical, severe, style in Greek art. It remains one of the most famous surviving pieces of Greco-Roman art. Number 5. Statue of Zeus at Olympia. The Statue of Zeus at Olympia was a magnificent chryselephantine sculpture, meaning it was made of gold and ivory plates over a wooden framework. Created by the renowned Greek sculptor Phidias around 435 BC, it was erected in the Temple of Zeus at the sanctuary of Olympia, Greece. The statue stood at a towering 12.4 meters, approximately 41 feet, tall and depicted Zeus seated on an elaborate throne. The statue was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, symbolizing the power and majesty of the king of the gods. It was adorned with intricate details, including a sculpted wreath of olive sprays, a gilded robe carved with animals and lilies, and a scepter inlaid with many metals supporting an eagle. Zeus' right hand held a small chryselephantine statue of crowned Nike, the goddess of victory, while his golden sandals rested upon a footstool decorated with an Amazon umaki in relief. Unfortunately, the original statue was lost and destroyed before the end of the 6th century AD, and its exact details are known only from ancient Greek descriptions and representations on coins and art. Despite its loss, the statue of Zeus at Olympia continues to captivate the imagination as a masterpiece of ancient art and a symbol of divine grandeur. Number 6. The Rosetta Stone. The Rosetta Stone is not a statue, but rather an ancient stele inscribed with a decree issued in 196 BC. During the reign of Ptolemy V, the decree is inscribed in 3 scripts: hieroglyphics, Demotic, and Ancient Greek. This trilingual nature of the Rosetta Stone was crucial in deciphering Egyptian hieroglyphs, as it provided a means to translate the hieroglyphs using the known Greek text. The stone measures about 44 inches tall and 30 inches wide, and it was discovered in 1799 by French soldiers who were rebuilding a fort in Egypt. Today, the Rosetta Stone is housed in the British Museum in London, where it remains one of the most famous artifacts in the study of ancient Egypt and a symbol of linguistic breakthroughs. Number 7. The Capitaline Wolf. The Capitaline Wolf is a bronze sculpture that has become a symbol of Rome, depicting the legendary she-wolf suckling the twins Romulus and Remus, the mythical founders of Rome. The sculpture is believed to have been created in the 5th century BC, with the figures of the twins added in the late 15th century AD. It measures 75 centimeters high and 114 centimeters long. The statue's origin and age have been subjects of debate. While it was long thought to be an Etruscan work from the 5th century BC, recent studies suggest the wolf portion could have been cast between 1021 and 1153, although there is no consensus for a revised dating. The she-wolf is depicted in a tense, watchful pose, with alert ears and glaring eyes, while the twins are absorbed in their suckling. The Capitoline Wolf has been housed since 1471 in the Palazzo dei Conservatori on the Capitoline Hill in Rome, Italy. Its image has been a symbol of Rome since ancient times and is one of the most recognizable icons of ancient mythology. Number 8. The Faresi Hercules. The Faresi Hercules is an ancient and massive marble statue, representing a muscular yet weary Hercules leaning on his club, which has the skin of the Nemean lion draped over it. The statue stands at an impressive 3.17 meters, 10.5 feet, and is believed to be an enlarged copy made in the early 3rd century AD by Glycon, an Athenian sculptor who may have worked in Rome. This copy is based on a much older Greek original that was well known, a bronze by Lysippus or one of his circle, dating back to the 4th century BC. The Farnese Hercules was made for the baths of Caracalla in Rome, where it was recovered in 1546, and is now displayed in the Museo Archeologico Nazionale in Naples. The statue captures Hercules in a moment of rest after completing one of his last of the 12 labors, as suggested by the apples of the Hesperides he holds behind his back. The Farnese Hercules has fixed the image of the mythic hero in the European imagination and is one of the most famous sculptures from antiquity. Number 9. The Thelakawan Group. The Thelakawan Group is a renowned marble sculpture that depicts the Trojan priest Laocoon and his sons Antiphantes and Thymbraeus being attacked by sea serpents. The figures are nearly life-sized, with the entire group measuring just over 2 meters in height. This masterpiece has been called the prototypical icon of human agony in Western art. The sculpture was excavated in Rome in 1506 and has been on public display in the Vatican museums ever since. It is attributed to the Greek sculptors Agesander, Athenodoros, and Polydorus from the island of Rhodes. While the exact date of creation is uncertain, It is considered one of the finest examples of the Hellenistic Baroque and is likely from the early imperial period, with a Julio-Claudian date, 27 BC to 68 AD, now being the preferred option. The Thelakawan Group's dramatic composition and emotional intensity make it a focal point of Hellenistic sculpture, reflecting the style's interest in dynamic movement and realistic depiction of the human form. Number 10. Statue of Athena Parthenos. The statue of Athena Parthenos was a monumental chryselephantine sculpture of the goddess Athena, created by the acclaimed sculptor Phidias in the mid-5th century BCE. Standing at about 11.5 meters tall, the statue was housed in the Parthenon on the Acropolis of Athens and served as an offering from the city to its patron deity. The statue was constructed around a core of cypress wood, paneled with gold and ivory plates, reflecting the established aesthetic canon of the severe style while adopting the innovations of the high classical period. Athena was depicted helmeted, holding a large round shield and spear, placed on the ground to her left, next to her sacred snake. The base and accessories were richly decorated, mainly with the snake and gorgon motif. Unfortunately, the original statue was lost at an unknown date sometime in the first millennium, and its exact appearance is known only from ancient descriptions and replicas. The most complete replica is the Varvakian Athena, a Roman period statuette from the 2nd century CE, which is housed in the National Archaeological Museum of Athens. Number 11. The Apollo Belvedere. The Apollo Belvedere, also known as the Belvedere Apollo or Pythian Apollo, is a celebrated marble sculpture from classical antiquity. The statue is a Roman copy of a Greek original and has been dated to the mid-2nd century AD. It is believed to be a copy of an original bronze statue created between 330 and 320 BC by the Greek sculptor Leochares. The Apollo Belvedere stands at 2.24 meters, 7.3 feet, high and depicts the Greek god Apollo as a standing archer who has just shot an arrow. Although there is no agreement on the precise narrative detail being depicted, it is commonly believed that he has just slain the serpent Python, guarding Delphi, making the sculpture a representation of the Pythian Apollo. The statue's complex contrapposto has been much admired, positioning the figure both frontally and in profile. Rediscovered in central Italy in the late 15th century during the Italian Renaissance, the Apollo Belvedere was placed on semi-public display in the Vatican Palace in 1511, where it remains today in the Cortile del Belvedere of the Pio Clementine Museum of the Vatican Museums complex. For centuries, it epitomized the ideals of aesthetic perfection for Europeans and westernized parts of the world. Number 12. Anois Mandron. The Anois Mandron is a notable marble bust that represents Antinous, the beloved companion of the Roman Emperor Hadrian. The bust is approximately 0.95 meters, 3 feet 1 inch, high and is believed to have been created sometime between 130 AD to 138 AD. It was rediscovered in the early 18th century near the ruined Roman city of Tusculum. After its rediscovery, it was housed at the Villa Mondragon as part of the Borghese collection. In 1807, it was sold to Napoleon Bonaparte and is now displayed in the Louvre Museum in Paris, France. The bust is a part of the Antinous cult statues and falls under the Mondragon type, identifiable by the unique hairstyle that references the Greek god Dionysus. Antinous was a young man from Bithynium Claudiopolis in Bithynia, and he is often depicted in art due to his extraordinary beauty and the intense relationship he shared with Emperor Hadrian. The circumstances surrounding Antinous's death in 130 AD are mysterious and have led to much speculation. The Antinous Mondragon is one of the most idealized images of Antinous and was praised by the art historian Johann Joachim Winckelmann as the glory and crown of sculpture. Number 13. Discobolus, the discus thrower. The Discobolus or the discus thrower is a famous ancient Greek sculpture that was completed at the start of the classical period, around 460 to 450 BC. The original bronze statue was created by the sculptor Myron, known for capturing fleeting moments of action and representing them with a sense of rhythm, harmony, and balance. The statue depicts a young athlete in the act of throwing a discus, a common event in Greek athletic competitions. The figure is shown in a moment of dynamic tension, coiled and ready to release the discus, embodying the Greek ideals of physical perfection and the harmonious development of body and mind. Although the original bronze is lost, the work is known through numerous Roman copies, both full-scale ones in marble and smaller-scaled versions in bronze. These copies have allowed the Discobolus to become one of the most recognized symbols of ancient Greek art and athleticism. The most famous marble copies include the Palambara Discobolus and the Townley Discobolus, which are displayed in museums and continue to be admired for their artistic and historical significance. Number 14. The Ria Warriors. The Ria Warriors, also known as the Ria Bronzes, are two of the most important full-size Greek bronze statues of naked bearded warriors, cast around 460 to 450 BC. They were discovered in the sea near Riace, Calabria, in southern Italy, in 1972. The bronzes are now housed in the Museo Nazionale della Magna Graecia in Reggio Calabria, Italy. These statues are significant because they are among the few surviving full-size ancient Greek bronzes, which were often melted down in later times. They demonstrate the technical craftsmanship and artistic features that were achieved at this time. The bronzes are displayed inside a microclimate room on top of an anti-seismic platform faced in Carrara marble. The two bronze sculptures are known as Statue A, which portrays a younger warrior, and Statue B, indicating the more mature looking of the two. Both sculptures were made using the lost wax casting technique. Their discovery and subsequent display were cultural events in Italy, highlighting the significance of these masterpieces in the study of ancient Greek art and sculpture. Number 15. The Colossus of Rhodes. The Colossus of Rhodes was a colossal statue of the sun god Helios that stood in the ancient Greek city of Rhodes and was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The statue, which took 12 years to build from c. 294 to 282 BCE, was toppled by an earthquake about 225–226 BCE. Created by the sculptor Choros of Lindis, the Colossus was made of bronze and reinforced with iron, weighted with stones. It was said to be 70 cubits, approximately 105 feet or 32 meters, high and stood beside Mandrakian harbor. Contrary to popular belief from the Middle Ages, it is technically impossible that the statue straddled the harbor entrance. The fallen Colossus was left in place until 654 CE, when Arabian forces raided Rhodes and had the statue broken up and the bronze sold for scrap. Supposedly, the fragments totaled more than 900 camel loads. The Colossus of Rhodes, despite its destruction, remains a symbol of Greek ingenuity and artistic achievement. Number 16. The Venus de Milo. The Venus de Milo is an ancient Greek statue and one of the most famous works of art from the Hellenistic period. It's believed to depict Aphrodite, the Greek goddess of love and beauty, known as Venus to the Romans. The statue is carved from Parian marble and stands over 2 meters, 6 ft 7 in, tall. The Venus de Milo is celebrated for its beauty and has become a symbol of female beauty. The statue is characterized by its graceful pose, with the weight on the right leg and the left leg raised, and the head turned to the left. Despite its missing arms, the Venus de Milo is renowned for the skillful depiction of the drapery over her lower body and the bare torso, which convey a sense of both the solidity and the movement of the human figure. Discovered in 1820 on the island of Melos, in Greece, the statue was presented to Louis XVIII, who donated it to the Louvre Museum in Paris, where it has been on display since 1821. The Venus de Milo continues to captivate audiences and remains a quintessential example of ancient Greek sculpture. Number 17. The Winged Victory of Samothrace. The Winged Victory of Samothrace, also known as the Nike of Samothrace, is a celebrated Hellenistic sculpture that represents the goddess Nike, the personification of victory. The statue was created around 190 BC and is renowned for its dramatic and dynamic form, as well as its realistic depiction of the goddess's drapery as if wet with humid air and swaying in the sea wind. The statue stands 2.75 meters, 9 feet, tall and is made of Parian marble. It was discovered in 1863 on the island of Samothrace by Charles Champoiseau, a French vice-consul and amateur archaeologist. The Winged Victory was originally part of the Sanctuary of the Great Gods, a temple complex that was associated with protection at sea and was popular with seafarers due to its strategic location along various trade routes in the northern Aegean Sea. Despite missing its head and arms, the Winged Victory of Samothrace is considered one of the greatest masterpieces of Hellenistic art. It is displayed prominently at the Louvre Museum in Paris, at the top of the main staircase, since 1884. The statue's base, shaped like the prow of a ship, suggests that it not only served as a tribute to Nike but also commemorated a naval victory. Number 18. The Boxer at Rest. The Boxer at Rest, also known as the Terme Boxer or Boxer of the Quirinal, is a celebrated bronze sculpture from the Hellenistic period. It represents a sitting nude boxer at rest, still wearing his hemontes, leather hand wraps. The statue is one of the finest examples of bronze sculptures to have survived from the ancient world, as such survivals are rare due to the ease with which they could be melted down. The sculpture was excavated in Rome in 1885 and is now part of the collection at the Palazzo Massimo alla Terme. The Boxer at Rest is notable for its realism and the vivid emotions it displays, which are characteristic of Hellenistic art. The statue's features include a top-heavy, muscular torso, scarred and bruised face suggesting broken teeth, cauliflower ears, and a broken nose, all of which convey the harsh reality of the boxer's profession. The Boxer at Rest is a masterpiece that reflects a movement away from idealized heroic depictions of the body and youth, exploring emotional, psychological themes, and greater realism. This shift is typical of Hellenistic art and is thoroughly displayed in this sculpture, making it a hallmark of the style. Number 19. The Dying Gaul. The Dying Gaul, also known as the Dying Galatian or Dying Gladiator, is an ancient Roman marble statue that is a copy of a now-lost Greek sculpture from the Hellenistic period, thought to have been made in bronze. The original may have been commissioned between 230 and 220 BC by Attalus I of Pergamon to celebrate his victory over the Galatians, a Celtic or Gaulish people of parts of Anatolia. The statue is semi-recumbent and depicts a wounded, slumped Gaulish or Galatian Celt with remarkable realism and pathos, particularly in the face. A bleeding sword puncture is visible in his lower right chest, and he is represented with characteristic Celtic hairstyle and mustache, with a Celtic torque around his neck. He sits on his shield while his sword, belt, and curved trumpet lie beside him. The Dying Gaul was rediscovered in the early 17th century during excavations for the building of the Villa Ludovisi, on the site of the ancient gardens of Sallust on the Pincian Hill in Rome. It was first recorded in a 1623 inventory of the collections of the Ludovisi family and later acquired by Pope Clement XII for the Capitoline collections. The statue was taken to the Louvre Museum by Napoleon's forces under the terms of the Treaty of Tolentino and displayed there until 1816 when it was returned to Rome. Today, the Dying Gaul is housed in the Capitoline Museums in Rome and is celebrated for its deeply moving celebration of the human spirit, embodying courage in defeat, self-possession in the face of death, and the recognition of nobility in an alien race. Number 20. The Barbarini Fawn. The Barbarini Fawn, also known as the Fauno Barbarini or Drunken Satyr, is a life-size Hellenistic marble statue that is now housed in the Glyptothek in Munich, Germany. The statue is believed to have been carved by an unknown Hellenistic sculptor of the Pergamene school in the late 3rd or early 2nd century BC, or it could be a high-quality Roman copy. The Barbarini Fawn was discovered in the 1620s in the moat below the Castel Sant'Angelo in Rome, which in antiquity had been Hadrian's mausoleum. The statue was heavily damaged when found. The right leg, parts of both hands, and parts of the head were missing. It underwent several restorations over the years, with the most significant ones made in the 17th and 18th centuries. The statue depicts a satyr, a creature from Greek mythology that is half human and half goat, known for being wild, lustful, and often associated with the god Dionysus. The Barbarini Fawn is characterized by its sensual pose, with the figure sprawled in a relaxed, sleep-like state, suggesting a state of drunkenness after revelry. The blatant sexuality and nudity of the statue are highlighted by its wantonly spread legs, drawing attention to its genitals. This aspect of the statue has made it a subject of interest and discussion regarding erotic art in antiquity. The Barbarini Fawn is considered one of the most significant works of Hellenistic sculpture, admired for its naturalism, expressive detail, and the portrayal of a figure in a state of repose. We've now explored 20 ancient statues, each with its own unique story and significance. These masterpieces of art and history continue to inspire and captivate us, centuries after their creation. Thank you for joining us on this historical journey. If you're fascinated by the tales of these ancient marvels, give us a thumbs up, share with fellow history enthusiasts, and subscribe for more content. Until our next adventure, keep seeking the wonders of the past.